Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here this evening. We have a packed agenda, so please bear with us. Today is Tuesday, October 22nd, and I'd like to call our regular council meeting to order at 7:07 PM. If I can please have a moment of silent meditation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, may I please have roll call?
Roll call, Mayor Cubillos.
Here.
Vice Mayor Nickerson.
Here.
Councilperson Mathis.
Present.
Councilperson Earlbaum.
Present.
Councilperson Roman.
Here.
Madam Mayor, we have a quorum. Also present for the record, Janice Jacoby, Village Clerk, Christia Liu, Village Manager, Norman Powell, Interim Village Attorney, and Chief Magnuson.
Excellent, thank you. Before I ask for approval of the agenda, I received an email from the manager with regards to a resolution that inadvertently got left out. Do we need to add it for this meeting, or does it need to be for, is November council meeting going to be okay?
I would prefer it be added if possible. It is very short, and it's about the CDGB funds that we are going to accept from the county, but it's to instruct me to contract with the county. And so it was inadvertently left from the agenda, but I do want to move it forward so that we can go ahead and start the contracting process. It was, the resolution was written by our attorney and forwarded, and I guess it just got left off.
And to my, and I know Rob Baran is a project manager, is going to talk a little bit. So it's to accept the grant that we were awarded, I think about 189 or along those lines.
157.
157. Okay.
157,000 from Community Development Block Grant for the stormwater system design for Phase 1 on the west part of the village.
Okay.
We applied for it last year in November.
Okay. Is the council okay with that being added? If so, may I have a motion to add that resolution to
Do we have a resolution number?
I-14, excuse me?
Do we have a resolution number?
Do we have a resolution?
It would be 20 it would-
Councilperson Mathis?
It would be 2019-13.
Give me 1 second. Councilperson Mathis, did you have something?
Wouldn't it go under new business?
We can put, as long as we can vote on it today, it's for resolution.
Okay. I'll motion for it to be placed on the agenda for, under new business with the resolution, the number 2019-13. 2019-13.
There's a resolution by Councilperson Mathis to add Resolution 2019-13 under new business. Is there a second?
I'll second that, Madam Mayor.
Second by Vice Mayor Nickerson. Is there discussion? Hearing none. May I get a roll call on that, please, Madam Clerk?
Roll call, Councilperson Earlbaum.
Yes.
Councilperson Mathis.
Yes.
Councilperson Roman.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nickerson.
Yes.
Mayor Cubillos.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, the resolution has been added to the agenda, and that's Resolution 2019-13 under new business. May I get a motion to approve the agenda with the addition?
I'll move approval.
Motion's been made by Councilperson Mathis. Is there a second?
I second the motion.
Second by Councilperson Earlbaum. All in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Hearing none, our agenda passes with the addition of Resolution 2019-13. At this time, we're going to go to E1, approval of the minutes for our September 24th regular council meeting. Have we had the opportunity to review those minutes? And if so, is there a motion to adopt those minutes?
Motion to adopt.
Motion's been made by Councilperson Roman, second by
I second it.
Councilperson Mathis for the approval of the minutes to adopt September 24th, the regular council meeting. All in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Hearing none, the minutes for the September 24th council meeting is now adopted. We have a couple of presentations this evening, a couple of nice ones I would like to add at that. So last year, we started a Mayor Citizen of the Year proclamation. This is Florida Government Week. Last year, we selected David Ward. I selected David Ward. And I really spent a lot of time in this year's selection. He is not able to make it here this evening, and he will be here for the November council meeting. And the selection that I have picked as the Mayor Citizen of the Year is Hugh Gladwin. My reasons that I selected Hugh Gladwin, my reasons that I selected Hugh Gladwin, and I spoke to him because I know that he's not retired and travels often, so I wanted to be sure that he was going to be in Miami. He's not. He actually landed today at 5:30 at Fort Lauderdale, but he'll be here for the November council meeting. His he's not doing so well, so he didn't want to rush and get here, and I told him, do not worry about it, just send me a little bio, and we'll have the proclamation properly drafted out. Reasons that I selected Hugh Gladwin in the 10 years that I've been here is because I know some of the work that he's done. But when he sent me his bio, the one thing that struck out that I was like, wow, is Hugh Gladwin was elected. Hugh Gladwin was elected for one term in the village of El Portal. You know, I didn't even know that. He was elected in 1998, but further than that, he's lived in the village of El Portal for 36 years. He was an FIU professor, and he did a lot of research at FIU. He became really fundamental to the village of El Portal at a time when the Little River wasn't that hot trend topic like it is today. He spearheaded the Little River cleanups, which was one of the reasons why I had selected him, as well as he was really, really adamant and such a pillar for, at least when we selected the tree board, when we first initiated Tree City USA, was another reason why I thought he was a great selection. Another contribution that he made during my time was he was a part of the ALE committee, where the ALE committee was a group of residents that came together to do work for the greater good for the village of El Portal during that time frame, and that time frame was between 9, 10, and 11. The other reason I had selected him is because when we went through the whole charrette process back when Councilperson Adam Ohl was on the dais, Hugh Gladwin was just so instrumental in being able to really ensure that no matter what decisions we made, that we were mindful of either sea level rise, of the seawall, of the Little River. And that was my knowledge of him. The great thing that I learned from him when he sent me his bio was that when he was elected in 1998, he only was elected for one term, he established back then with what was called a sound planning with strong participation, paving the way to such accomplishments as our charrette in 2013. But what really got me here was that he identified and proposed a plan to alleviate adverse condition on the eastern part of 87th Street, wide pavement with no sidewalks, which led now to the sidewalks that we have today east of 87th Street. He also identified that the Little River was the key feature that will unite all the neighboring communities. And that is how Oakland Grove and all of those neighboring communities came together and started the Little River cleanup. That's how I really met Hugh Gladwin. His advocacy for the Little River starts way before any of us even knew the challenges that we would have today with the Little River. So all of the knowledge that he gave to us every time we had the cleanup, while he's known to talk a lot, and that's part of Hugh Gladwin, and a lot of people would be like, oh, that's it, don't talk anymore, but he was just a wealth of information and always wanted to just educate everybody. And that's what I remember most during his time before he retired from FIU. And the other thing that I found, and another reason that I had thought he would be a good selection is because there is a county-wide committee called LMS. And Robert Verona can probably tell me what that stands for, because I don't have the acronym, what it stands for at the moment. But he was selected by our county commissioner, Audrey Edmondson, to sit on that board, and he always represented us on that board. If the manager couldn't make it, if anybody, no one can make it, Hugh Gladwin was always there to make it. And the reason that was necessary was because for us to qualify for any grants, for us to qualify for anything, to even have a voice at the table, we needed to always have someone present. And it was always Hugh Gladwin present at those meetings for us. So the 2019 Citizen of the Year is going to go to Hugh Gladwin. I'm very excited. I hope the council supports me on this. I think my opinion is an excellent choice. If you have anything that you'd like to add to the proclamation from your experiences of Hugh Gladwin, please send them to the clerk. And we'll have it drafted up so we can present it to him at the November meeting. I've asked him for some old photos to see maybe he has any old photos so we could put that as a background, as a watermark for the proclamation. So congratulations, Hugh Gladwin. We are forever indebted for all the work that you've done, and I did not want to go by without recognizing that. So congratulations. All right, so Florida Government Week, one of the projects that we initiated this year was through the Florida League of Mayors. There is an eighth grade essay contest, If I Were Mayor. So we proposed it over to Horace Mann Middle School, and we said that the top 50 essays that would be selected through the English board, English dean, teacher, and the principal and administration would then come to me and I would review them. So I've been reading essays for like days now, and it's really, 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 really interesting what I have read. So I had said in an email that I shared with the manager that I went out to the council that I would pick one, and that winner would be announced tonight, and they would get a $100 gift certificate. We also have backpacks left for the backpack giveaway, so we have about 50 of them. So I said, if you give me your top 50, we're going to give those backpacks away to them during this week, and that's going to be on Thursday at 3 o'clock. So I didn't pick one, I picked 4. It was really hard. It was really hard. I didn't want to grade it in the eye of a teacher, but in the eye of a mayor, as far as a public servant, like what they felt they would want to contribute. It was really, really interesting that they all, I would say over 30 essays talked about cleaning the village. I thought that was very interesting. Over 30 of them, out of the 50, they want to work with the homeless. That really impacted me because I thought to myself, oh my gosh, are they homeless? Like how are they exposed to that? And bullying was another one that I felt was resonated across the board. But the one thing that did resonate in almost all of them is that they want to be involved in the community. So what I ended up doing was I picked 4 resumes. If you can all allow me, I'm going to read one. The one that I'm going to read is the most brief. It talked about doing more community events that involved them. It talked about open space, which I thought was really relevant to who we are as a community as far as what we find important, especially because Robert Verano, I thought of our nature trail when I read one of the essays. And if you can just allow me, and I'll try to be as brief as possible. This is from Diana Gomez. The mayor of a city has the difficult job of balancing the budget of local needs and available resources. I would work to make all of these things happen. I would help create a community green space, enhance the educational experience, and establish a mentorship program. Enhancing the education and classroom experience would be beneficial for everyone. It would make school more enjoyable and help make lessons useful in real-world situations. This would include having classes outside, making volunteer and hands-on opportunities available to everyone, and using technology to enrich our classes and lessons. Students could volunteer in community cleanups or be able to access labs or computers after school to create new things and experiment. The better your education, the brighter our future. Establishing a mentorship program in local schools could really make a difference. Older students could work with younger ones to build confidence and a sense of self-worth. Mentors could help with homework and studying or just support their mentees through rough patches in their life. Students who didn't have someone at home to help them would have someone to assist them in reaching their goals in school. It would encourage responsibility in the mentors as well, because they'd know that someone was looking up to and counting on them. Mentors could be critical in helping students reach their potential. No one should be at a disadvantage in the classroom because of the lack of support or encouragement. The creation of a local green space could greatly improve my county, my city. A community garden or park could provide a beautiful location for families and recreation, an expansion of the classroom and the provision of fresh vegetables to those who would not be able to afford them. Students could work in the garden and learn about plants and how to grow them, how the ecosystem actually works in real life. Fresh vegetables would be an extremely beneficial addition to the food bank. Low-income residents who might not otherwise get fresh produce would have access to locally grown and maybe even organic food. Also, a park would provide a nice place for families to unwind and for the kids to play. A community green space could bring nutrition to those who need it. Hands-on education for local kids and beauty for all. I believe that if you have been elected by the people of your community to a government position, it is your responsibility to cause change for the better. If I were mayor in my community, I would do my best to represent my fellow residents as best as possible. I would encourage the creation of a local garden or park, work to establish a mentorship program in schools, and assist in efforts to enhance the educational experience for all students. That's my top choice. And this is one of 50. It was really hard, and when I tell you that I selected this literally an hour before getting here, and I have the other three. But they really talked about community projects, and one of the reasons that this resonated with me as the first one is because we've been working on a nature trail expansion with Horace Mann Middle School. What a great opportunity to use some of these resumes to read them to the school board. Some of them are really interesting about the school board, but that's, some of them were 3 pages long, and again, a lot of effort was put into them, so I really applaud them. And so I wanted to recognize, I'm not gonna read all 4 of them, but Diana Gomez was number 1, Joseph Goenaga, number 2, Elizabeth Buitrago, number 3, and Sean Chatain would be number 4. And the theme across the board for them was mentorship and green space. And as I said, I really wanted to pick some resumes, some essays that we could actually probably make come to life. Because when we met with the principal, we talked about a mentorship program. Homeless is something that, I don't know if you all experienced it, it's happening a little bit in El Portal, not too much. But community space would be another wonderful thing. Several years ago, we used to have a community garden here, and how great would that be? So with that said, if you want to read them, they're right here, and I will, with that, conclude on the essays, and I want to congratulate Horace Mann Middle School. Again, to the council, the backpack giveaways and the presentation of the $100 gift certificate will be Thursday at 3 o'clock. This Thursday at 3 o'clock at Horace Mann. Yes, at Horace Mann. All right, Florida Government Wing continues, and now we have the presentation of our village clerk. I would like to please call up Sandra Novoa. She is the town clerk of Surfside and Florida Association of City Clerks South District Director.
Hello. If I may, Mayor, can I have your clerk join us down here?
Yes, of course.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the Village Council, Village Manager, and Village Attorney. My name is Sandra Novoa, and I am the town clerk for the town of Surfside. I am joined here today by my fellow city clerks, Aneri Gonzalez, City of West Miami, and also Miami-Dade County Municipal Clerks Association President, and Roseanne Prado, Village of Biscayne Park City Clerk. Thank you for allowing us the opportunity to be here tonight to recognize your village clerk, Janice Jacoby, for obtaining the certified municipal clerk designation. Janice has been employed by the Village of El Portal since November 18, 2015, when she was hired as a village clerk. She became a member of the Florida Association of City Clerks in March 25, 2018, and obtained her certified municipal clerk designation recently on September 3, 2019. Currently, the Florida Association of City Clerks has over 650 members. Out of all those 650 members, there are over 413 members who have reached the certified municipal clerk designation, and only 137 who have reached the master municipal clerk designation. With this being said, we encourage Janice to continue her education in order to obtain her master municipal clerk, which is very important. The Certified Municipal Clerk program is designed to enhance job performance and recognize the professionalism of the clerk's office in small and large municipalities. To earn the Certified Municipal Clerk designation, a clerk must attend extensive educational programs, including a minimum of 120 student-instructor contact hours of in-depth courses and require experience in a municipality. The program prepares the applicant to meet the challenges of the complex role of a municipal clerk by providing them with quality education in partnership with institutions of higher learning. It is very important for the village to continue to support Janice in attending all upcoming and future conferences. On behalf of the Florida Association of City Clerks and the South District, please join me in congratulating Janice on her efforts as one of our newest certified municipal clerks. Congratulations, Janice. And just for the record, I want to read her plaque says, International Institute of Municipal Clerks hereby confers the title of Certified Municipal Clerk upon Janice Jacoby, CMC, who has completed the requirements prescribed by the International Institute of Municipal Clerks for certification. She must remain an active member of the IIMC to recognize her certification. This was certified this 3rd day of September of 2019. Congratulations. Thank you very much. You want a picture? Can we have a picture?
Yes, yes. So before we go into pictures, the council has a presentation. So we can do pictures all at one time. So if the council can join me, please. And Denise, you can join me too. Oh. On behalf, well, before I get there, I remembered when you came in for your interview. I think Councilperson Mathis was on the dais. Came in with glasses, a blue dress, very shy, hair pulled back, black glasses. Podium right here. You stuttered a little bit, you were a little nervous. But you said family was the most important thing. You said that over and over about your 3 children. But this is your family too. So as our village clerk, take care of family, and we work together. And we're really looking forward to it because education is so fundamental, training is so fundamental, and it really does make us that much more prepared. And I said something at a committee the other day, and is that, you know, when we work together so often in terms of hours in a day, we do really become family. And if we can't trust one another and work together, then it makes it tough, you know? And you, as the clerk, are that person for all of us. We are going to go to you for everything under the sun, and now that you know everything, we're really going to go to you for everything under the sun.
I got it. It doesn't mean I know it all.
Yeah, we encourage that, and we applaud you, because there's one thing about certifications, and besides the knowledge, is getting through it, is that you actually just stuck at it. No matter what, you missed a lot of meetings, it didn't matter. You stuck through it because you knew at the end we would be exactly where we're at today. So as a result, and because we know you like things so fancy, there's a fancy award. And you know what? I'm gonna say something, because I believe people should be recognized. Vice Mayor Nickerson did this.
Oh, thank you.
In appreciation for all that you do, Yanis Jacoby, Village Clerk, Village of El Portal, 2019. Don't drop it, that's heavy.
It's so heavy. Oh my God.
Any words from you?
Right?
Oh, God. I am not really into public speaking, but I do want to take the opportunity to thank my colleagues for their support, and thank you all for also my support, for your support. I've always said the same thing, and we spend more time with each other than we do with our own family. So therefore, I feel like you guys are a part of my family too. I know we have our ups and downs, we do with family too, but I appreciate your continued support all the time. If I call each one of you, you help me as much as you can. I don't know it all, but I try. And if not, I ask my colleagues. I always do that. And that's why I'm appreciative of them too. Again, thank you for the opportunity, for allowing me to continue to work here and learn every day something new.
Yay.
Will you do my item, if I take this picture, will you do my item first? Mayor, will you do my item first if I take this picture? Will you do my item first?
Thank you for your support. And you have a leader here. She's been nominated for this coming year 1920 Executive Board at
She
the
told me.
Miami-Dade County Municipal
told me.
Clerks Association.
Yeah, she told me, yep. Yep. Very nice. Absolutely. Okay, what am I next? Okay. Thank you so much for being here, ladies. Very nice to see you. We'll see you at the next league meeting, if not at the 5K. Bye. At this time, we're gonna go right into good and welfare. Anybody would like to add or say anything in good and welfare, this would be the time to do so. Hearing none, we're gonna go right into the agenda items. First agenda, if I can please have the attorney read the ordinance 2019-04. This is the second reading for the code amendment for walls and hedges, standards zone 3.
An ordinance of the Village of El Portal, Florida, amending the Code of Ordinances by amending Chapter 24, Zoning and Land Development Code, Section 24B.15, subsection G, walls, fences, and hedges standards, Z3, providing for updated specific regulations, providing for incorporation of recitals, providing for conflicts, repeal, or severability, codification, and an effective date.
Thank you for that. Thank you, Juan. Would you like to tell, give us a little background on this before I ask for a motion?
Sure. This basically changes the way fences are allowed only on the side of a corner lot. The front still remains the same, and the back allows for a 4-foot fence to be erected. The other part of this item is also in terms of the materials, allowing for PVC, Durawood, vinyl coated chain link fences with a dark color, and ornamental wrought iron fences.
All right, thank you. Any questions for Juan from Pluserbia with regards to this particular ordinance before I ask for a motion? Okay. Hearing none, is there a motion to adopt ordinance 2019-04? Motion's been made by Councilperson Mathis. Is there a second?
I'll second, Madam Mayor.
Second by Vice Mayor Nickerson. I'm going to close the meeting. Any public comments or questions for Juan or the manager on this ordinance? This is a second reading. Hearing none, I'm going to close the public comments and open it up back to the council. Madam Clerk, may I please have roll call?
Roll call. Councilperson Urban.
Yes.
Councilperson Roman.
Yes.
Councilperson Mathis.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nickerson.
Yes.
Mayor Cubillos.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Congratulations, Pluserbia. Well, all of us, and to
wasn't
the
us.
Village of El Portal, but this is took years, it was years in the
4
making, so
years
thank you.
of,
Yes, yes, yes. Next, we have ordinance 2019-05, the second reading for the code amending for right-of-way vacation procedures. If I can please have the attorney read it into the record, and if the manager can give us some background on this.
An ordinance of the Village of El Portal, Florida, amending the Code of Ordinances by amending Chapter 24, Zoning and Land Development Code, Article 6, other administrative provisions, providing for an updated specific regulations, providing for incorporation of recitals, providing for conflicts, repeal or severability, codification, and an effective date.
Okay. Mayor and council, this item was a long time in the coming as well, and it's interesting that we're honoring Mr. Hugh Gladwin this evening because he brought it to my attention 2 years ago when I started working for the Village of El Portal as the city manager. And he explained to me that this had been going on for some time. He and his neighbor had parcels of land that he wanted to be completed, to have whole parcels. And so this right-of-way vacation will assist them in having those whole parcels so that they can move forward. In fact, one of the neighbor is an elderly woman who is now needing to sell her property. So this will assist them in that way. But we didn't have anything on the books for vacation of right-of-way, and so now we do. So we appreciate you moving this forward. And I don't know if you have anything more to say about it, Juan? No? Okay.
Any questions from the council to either the manager or to Juan?
My only question is this going to, this is a new section that's going into Article 6? That's it? Okay.
It was never there before.
Okay. May I have a motion to adopt ordinance 2019-05?
I'll make the motion to adopt ordinance 2019-05.
Motion's been made by Councilperson Urban. Is there a second?
I'll second.
A second by Councilperson Roman. Any, I'll close for any public comments. Any public comments or questions on this? Hearing none. Madam Clerk, may I please have roll call?
Roll call, Councilperson Urban.
Yes.
Councilperson Roman.
Yes.
Councilperson Mathis.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nickerson.
Yes.
Mayor Cubillos.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Again, thank you for working through that. That's also been a few years in the making, so thank you. All righty, talking about a few years in the making. Okay, Resolution 2019-11, easement agreement with the Miami-Dade County School Board. Robert Ronnie, you look way too excited. If I could please have the attorney read the resolution to the record.
A resolution of the Village of El Patel, Florida, council approving a grant of easement agreement between the village and the Miami-Dade County School Board in favor of the village for the installation and operation by the village of a regional sewage lift station, providing for settability and effective date.
Thank you. I'll ask our project manager, Robert Rano, to come forward and share some background with
Sure.
this
Robert
resolution.
Rano, 1544 Mercy Avenue. So as, from the last time that I was up here, and I believe our contractor, our engineer was also here, we went ahead and changed the orientation. Remember, we were talking about east and west. We changed the orientation to north and south to give us more room if we did that nature trail expansion. Mayors, you'd be happy about that. And also, we talked to WASDE to make sure how much space they needed. And so ultimately what you have here is a 45-foot wide, 85-foot deep, a little bit wider for the turnaround. And one of the things you have obviously the payments there and everything, but one of the things that we were able to get away from is the connection to their pump station and abandonment of their pump station, which we heard would cost upwards of about $35,000 to $40,000 additional dollars. So fortunately, they were able to do that. Our next step after we get this signed is then go meet with our friends at Pannoni and start that conversation again to hopefully get everything at the state meeting in February.
And for clarity purpose for the residents and for the council, and as a reminder, this was a necessary step for the septic to sewer project in the west side. Without this easement, that project would not come to life. To hear anyone think or say that this project was ever dropped, it was not that it was ever dropped. It's that there's so much work going on in the background. And as a result, things like this does not happen because of one person. So before I even go any further, I want to thank Rob Barano. I want to thank the manager. I want to thank Councilperson Mathis. I want to thank the attorney. Because it really took a lot of people just, you have to just return calls, return emails, show up, be at the meeting. It was just really nonstop, and I applaud that. I'm very happy that we're here. It's going to cost money. And I'm not going to speak anything negative about anybody, but the reality is that we all learn. And this was our first time doing this project. It was a multifaceted project. That it was a first time for many of us. And now we know better. Now we know better before we get into any big contract or agreement or anything of that nature. There's things that we have to have in place, such as a location for the lift station. Without a lift station, there could be no septic to sewer. So I think it's important to make those facts clear because those are facts. So for being one person that did not vote on this project, because I felt it was going too fast because there was things missing, I'm very happy we are here today. And I'm very happy that that we did dot every I and cross every T. But now we just need to make sure that we don't overpay and how we're going to be able to fit this cost in to the cost that's, that we have with the state. So, there's, again, it's a multifaceted project, and let this be a lesson to me and to the council that as we move forward, we are going to be in a lot of multifaceted projects. We can't rush through them. We have to have conversation with people in the community. We have to have conversation with us at the council meeting. We can't jump to assumptions because assumptions generally are wrong. We have to be open to the conversation because the more we talk, they realize, oh yeah, you're right. Oh yeah, you're right. If all of this conversation would have happened from the get-go, then maybe this could have been mitigated by knowing better. But I now know that the second phase and the third phase is gonna be great. But let it be a lesson to all of us that when we communicate and collaborate with community partners, we are much more better at what we can do if we just do that. So thank you. But it hasn't passed yet, so can't be totally thankful just yet. Did the manager want to add anything to this resolution?
Just that this will allow us to move forward with receiving this property from the school board, and then we will be able to finalize any further negotiations with Pannoni, because where we left it last was that they were charging a certain amount of money to continue to make plans for land that they didn't have. So now we've got the land, we can now continue on that path, and then we will need to look at, because we only have a small amount left on that design. So once that's complete, we can then move on to construction. And I strongly suggest we consider doing another RFP for construction.
Absolutely. Thank you. Any questions from the council to either Robert or to the manager, to the attorney? Councilperson Mathis.
Hopefully this is gonna pass, and I would just ask you to restart negotiations with Pannoni. And I would love to be involved in it as well.
More than welcome. If I may, Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I think one of the other key components of this, I don't know if Robert intended to talk about that, is that this was also blessed by WASD, which is the other entity that we have to deal with. So prior to bringing this before the council, it has been blessed by WASD, which controls everything. And I think the other issue, as mentioned by Councilman Mathis, is now that we have control of the site, we don't have to deal with the runaway costs of having plans being drawn for a location that we've not nailed down. So we can actually negotiate a specific agreement with Pannoni without that variable.
Thank you. From the council, any questions to any, the project manager, the manager, or the attorney? Okay, hearing none. Do we have a motion to adopt Resolution 2019-11 easement agreement for the Miami-Dade County School Board?
I move approval.
A motion's been made by Councilperson Mathis. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Second by Councilperson Urban. Thank you. Any public comments or questions on this resolution? Hearing none, I'll close public comments. Madam Clerk, may I have roll call, please?
Councilperson Urban.
Yes.
Councilperson Roman.
Yes.
Councilperson Mathis.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nickerson.
Yes.
Mayor Cubillos.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Well, congratulations to the Village of El Portal.
Thank you, Mayor.
That's
Thank you for everything you did. Thank you.
It's a good night.
Mayor, if I could ask your favor for a second, since you pay me by the hour, if you do the new business now, I can get out of here. Councilman Mathis is saying yes, I think.
Oh, we pay. If we pay you, yes, he can go first.
Exactly.
Is the council okay if we move up new business to now? Council okay with that?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let's go on to Resolution 2019-13.
A resolution of the El Portal.
No, stand by. Okay, that's fine. Because we still have the resolution for the police forfeitures, but, okay,
Right,
we're gonna
that's
move you up, okay.
2019.
Sorry, resolution 2019-13.
All right,
Now I got you.
Resolution 2019-13, a resolution of the El Portal, Florida Village Council authorizing the village manager to execute an interlocal agreement between the Village of El Portal and Miami-Dade County for the construction of a storm sewer system and providing for effective date.
Thank you, and this is for the village to be able to accept the CBG grant, so go ahead and give us a little background.
I'm sorry, actually, there's a little bit of a Scrivener's error there. Should be design and construction, sorry. They're actually going to pay us for design, so technically the grant is for design, but the whole project is design and construction.
Design construction or design and construction?
Design and construction, yes.
To the attorney, do you know exactly where that needs to be edited?
Yes, we could just simply edit the title, and so I could read it in. A resolution of the El Portal, Florida Village Council authorizing the village manager to execute a interlocal agreement between the Village of El Portal, Florida and Miami-Dade County for the design and construction of a storm sewer system and providing for effective date. And I'll go through also in the body of the resolution, make sure that we have that throughout the document.
Perfect, okay, thank you. I don't see a dollar amount on the resolution. Is a dollar amount necessary, or is that going to be added in pencil on a line? I don't see a dollar amount in the resolution.
Well, it's for design, isn't it? Design and construction.
Well, no, because we are receiving monies from the
It's a grant.
CBGG, so this is to accept monies that we were awarded through a grant.
This is directly from a sample that they provided us, so.
Okay.
It's just, I guess they want to keep it open.
Councilperson Mathis.
Can we make a friendly amendment, because he did give us the number, it's 157, right?
157, 840.
Right.
Right.
If that's the exact amount, because I don't want to make a mistake in a resolution.
Yeah, and I apologize.
Right, I'm sorry. And we took this from the county. They
Yeah.
gave us the sample,
The
so we
sample.
just provided it.
To the extent that the council wants a figure in there, we could simply amend also section 2, and I could read that into the record. Section 2 would read, "The village hereby approves the village manager's execution of the interlocal agreement with Miami-Dade County for the design and construction of a sewer system in the anticipated amount of the dollar figure."
I'm like 95%. I'm sorry, I didn't have it
That's why I'm
printed
gonna
out,
just
but
use what
150.
anticipated.
Yeah.
Anticipated, okay.
The manager just sent us an email right before the meeting started, so stand by.
But that amount, I said approximate.
Oh, okay.
Or approximate.
Is it more than 160?
No.
So then can we put, shouldn't not exceed 160,000? Not
We don't
exceeding
wanna-
160,000?
They can exceed it if they want.
Right, I mean, we're open to that
Right.
from the
So
county.
we just say in the anticipated amount of 160.
And if they reallocate, we can get more.
Just speak on the,
If this is an example and they don't provide a space for the amount, is that something that we really need to put in?
If they don't provide it, no. It's up to you guys to provide, if you want to add it, you know.
and also may I
Is there a
add,
reason why we need to be?
with this resolution will be the county agreement that we have with them, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm okay with it without it. I would just like to see the number on it, because it
This
would
is-
make
this
all
is
these things
their
in writing.
form. We pretty much stayed consistent with it. If we have at least what the anticipated amount, there's nothing prohibiting us from including that expected amount in there. It doesn't change the overall import of the resolution. And if it's the mayor's pleasure, we can just amend it with consensus of the council.
I have a question for the attorney, if I could.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Attorney, so it sounds like the language already in the sample is already declaring that the agreement is what we're talking about, meaning that whatever the amount agreed upon is already stated within the resolution as it exists, correct?
Correct.
So then I would default to whatever your advice would be on what we do.
Yeah, either way, I'm fine. You know, it's their resolution.
Not either
form.
way, tell me.
So
Okay.
if you all feel comfortable having a number in there that's expected, we can put that in there, but that doesn't change the fact that it could be more or less. That's why I
Okay.
want to qualify the number with anticipated.
So two members of the council have said if you're okay with it, then we're okay with this, so we'll leave it as is.
Okay.
Is the council okay with that? Okay.
Yep.
I need a motion to adopt resolution 2019-13.
Motion to adopt resolution 2019-13 as is.
I will second that motion.
There's a motion made by Councilperson Roman and seconded by Councilperson Urbans. Councilperson Mathis, did you have a comment?
As amended, right? We needed to put that in there.
As amended with the design.
Correct.
And construction.
Okay, so Councilperson Mathis says you acknowledge it. Can you do the friendly amendment, please, since there's a motion?
And a friendly amendment to Councilperson Roman's acknowledgement of 2019, Resolution 2019 for the amendment inclusive of design
The word design throughout the.
throughout the body of the,
Okay, is there a second?
I will second that friendly amendment.
Okay, there's a friendly amendment by Councilperson Mathis and second by Councilperson Urban. I'm going to close the meeting. Any comments or questions on this resolution about a CBD grant? What does CBD stand for? Community?
Community Development Block Grant.
Community Development Block
It's a
Grant.
HUD
Which
program.
is a HUD program, and it's going to cover what area
The
for stormwater?
The phase one, which is west of Horseman.
In
Exactly
conjunction with
where,
septic to sewer?
exactly where the
Perfect.
septic is, the same area.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's about 160, between 155 to 160?
I'm pretty sure it's 157, 840. I mean,
Okay.
and my phone died or else I would have
Okay.
tell you exactly. Sorry.
Any questions from the public? Hearing none, I'm going to close public comments. Madam Clerk, can I get a roll call for the first motion?
Councilperson Erba,
Yes.
Councilperson Roman,
Yes.
Councilperson Mathis,
yes.
Vice Mayor Nickerson,
Yes.
Mayor Cubillos.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
May I get a roll call for the friendly amendment?
Roll call for the friendly amendment. Councilperson Erba,
Yes.
Councilperson Roman,
Yes.
Councilperson Mathis,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nickerson,
Yes.
Mayor Cubillos.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you.
You can clock out at 7:53. We're going to go right into Resolution 2019-12, Police Forfeiture Fund and Expenditures. If I can please have the attorney read it into the record.
A resolution of the mayor and El Portal, Florida Village Council approving fiscal year 2019-2020 police forfeiture fund expenditures and providing for an effective date.
Attorney, can you read the amount in the record, please, that we're spending? It's 6,000, correct?
The amount is $6,308.
Perfect. I wanted to go into the record. Okay. Any questions from the council to the attorney on this resolution? Yeah, and if the manager, do you want to give us a little insight to the audience?
Absolutely. This is a request for forfeiture funds from our police department to be utilized in the purchase of radar machines, 2 radar machines, to clock speed in some areas of the village. They're portable, and we will like to utilize these radar machines to not only track the traffic, but also to add some support to our request for a traffic study to Miami-Dade County. This was a project that was initiated by Councilperson Roman, and we're grateful that we have these funds that are in forfeiture, and we're allowed to utilize them for unbudgeted items. We had not budgeted for this in the budget that was just passed in September.
And to add to that, for those that are watching, forfeiture funds cannot be used for salaries, cannot be used for vehicles. There is a whole list that there's do's and don'ts that the chief recently has emailed the entire council. So with that said, just to put out there, there's something we cannot use salaries for or manpower or anything like that. And for those of you that remember, we used to have the big tracker with the signs and go like that. So I think it's a great idea, and the committee overall approved it. So we thank Councilperson Roman to bringing it forward to the manager and to the committee. May I get a motion to adopt Resolution 2019-20 Police Forfeiture Fund expenditures?
Motion to approve.
Motion's been made by Councilperson Roman. Is there a second?
Second?
Second by Councilperson Mathis. There's a motion on the table. Any questions or comments from the members who are not on the Public Safety Committee? Any questions and comments from the members of the audience? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, may I get roll call, please?
Roll call. Councilperson Erba,
Yes.
Councilperson Roman,
Yes.
Councilperson Mathis,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nickerson,
Yes.
Mayor Cubillos.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
All righty, we're going right into reports. Good job. The manager sent the report today, and I apologize, I haven't entirely read it, so we might crisscross a little bit. But I'm sure I'm going to leave things out. Since we last met, September 24th, we've been a little busy, meeting with vendors, meeting with business owners, and really seeing how we can get a better handle with regards to everything that we're doing here. As such, we met on September 25th with Jason Neal from Waste Management for the ongoing concerns that the residents have had with the trash cans. From that meeting, he has volunteered, and I don't know if it has started yet, but they had hand tags made. So whenever the bins were placed incorrectly, you were getting a hand tag on there, so that a lot of the times that the machine that comes by now would knock them over, because you have to place the wheels forward or backward, and sometimes I even forget. So those hand tags have been put on the trash cans, as well as we told them that when they were out there to just please make sure that if they see one of our residents, just, go and hand it to them, and really just walk up to the door and don't put it inside the mailbox, but just have sort of that type of feel. They also gave some to the code enforcement. We didn't only meet with Jason Neal, we met with the route supervisors. I can tell you it was a little bit of a heated conversation, because it's not the first time we sit down with them. And it's never pleasant to talk about your business when it's not up to par. But the conversation had to be had, and the manager shared with them, I believe at that meeting, that, an RFQ for waste management is something that we have been wanting to do for a couple of years now, but one thing or the other happens and we extend the contract, but it's something that we know needs to come forward with regards to what we're going to do as we move forward with the waste management contract. Waste services contract. So that was September 25th. Thereafter, the manager, the chief, and we did a walkthrough on the west side, as we have a request for a traffic calming device, a rotunda. We also were out there with our engineers, Craig Smith, and shortly thereafter, a traffic study, a 24-hour traffic study was placed in place. It's only for 24 hours. It's pretty short, but we haven't gotten the results to that. The rotunda that we are looking at to calm traffic is on either Northwest 2nd Avenue and 91st or Northwest 5th Avenue and 91st. So the chief was there to provide the public safety eye, and the engineer let us know the lining of the streets on both sides. So we'll have more on that as we move forward. Since about August, the manager and I have been trying to meet with Horseman Middle School. We finally were successful in doing so in the beginning of October. It took a few weeks to make that happen. We had Hurricane Dorian, and the beginning of school year is always busy for everybody. But I've had a lot of meetings with Horseman in my few years here. But I do believe that when we walked out of that meeting, it was the chief, it was the manager, it was I, and it was our head instructor and teacher, and it was the principal. From that, we have ironed out some ideas that we're going to work together on. As such is why we have the 8th grade essay contest. We also, they're now sending us a calendar of their every month, so we know exactly when there's going to be parent-teacher night. We know exactly when there's going to be something going on that if you live right next door to Horseman, and all of a sudden you see 75 and 80 cars, what is going on, but at least now you're going to know ahead of time, because we're going to know, and we're going to email blast, and we're going to let you know this is going on. We talked about, opening the gates to letting the parents park in their field as opposed to on the streets. We also talked about having a police officer. Money was the issue, as he addressed. Having a police officer would mean that it's not in their budget, so therefore the school would have to pay for it, not the school board. The other thing that we talked about was just really having a relationship. When Kevin Lawrence, the principal, first started, we were hit with Irma. So and Christia was new, so our ability to start on the right foot didn't happen. So I think that 2 years later, that's happening now. And then we had the conversation with the school easement. So there were so many variables going on that we had to tread lightly with our conversations with Horseman. So all of it tied in together, where the easement passed, and we met with them, and some of the things that I believe I sent an email to most of you on the council with regards to what we have coming up. My computer broke, so everything's on hand notes. I had to go back in time to dinosaur eras. Everything's on hand notes. As a result of this, we're going to get their monthly calendars. We also are going to have they want to work with Christia and code enforcement with regards to the fence that the children have continuously disrepaired of their neighbor right across the street. So they're going to start working on that. Of course, there's going to be code compliance there, so it's not like they can just go put a fence out there. The other thing is that not only are we sending out the email blast so that our neighboring residents know that there's a meeting going on, but it's also an opportunity for us to go speak. So the first parent-teacher meeting after we met was October 8th. So on October 8th, the manager, the chief, and I went and we addressed the parents. It was great to have the three of us because we all took a different perspective. It was like mean cop, bad cop. So we all were like happy, and then we addressed issues. And they were very receptive, and they thought it was great that the three of us were there, so we were to meet them, shake their hands, and really say, hey, we're here as a community, but we all have to be neighborly. So we're gonna, every time there is a meeting, maybe not all three of us can go, 2 out of 3, or maybe other council member will be able to go, but the whole point is to go and to feed that relationship. That was 8th grade parent night out. From the meeting that we had on October 1st, the village, at no cost to the village, and I'm gonna acknowledge those that helped me, and she's here tonight, we had a Hispanic heritage breakfast. Over 600 children we fed breakfast. It was pretty impressionable. They were really well behaved. Well, one minor thing, Chief. Officer Lopez, Lieutenant Mendez, Chief Magnuson, our village manager, and Councilperson Roman all were there. I know it was a little early and it was a little short notice. It was 7 a.m., but I want to thank you for being there, because if you guys wouldn't have been, it probably would have been a little difficult to serve 600 children. But they were all troopers, and we did a fantastic job. And the kids were really, really, Councilperson Roman walked out and she said to me, wow, they were so polite and just, you know, they were really appreciative of that breakfast. So some of the people that helped put this together in terms of money, you have right here Dr. O from Kidstown. We also have, Shantae Swede is one of our residents. She's a catering company, so she helped cater it at a reduced cost. She literally is the one that cooked the night before in the morning of us at 5 a.m. She cooked eggs. A hair salon right down the street, LXS Salon. She not only came to volunteer with the mom, but she was a sponsor as well. And Danny Reyes. So those are the ones that helped us put together. The manager, when she showed up, she goes, Mayor, what are these T-shirts? Too much money. We can't spend this money. And I'm like, I promise you, I'm not going to give you a bill for this. So I do have some extra shirts. It was really nice. It was yellow with red. It said Hispanic Heritage. I have some for our sponsors. And in the back, it says #IHeartElPortal. And it has one village. It has a lot of different words that deals with Hispanic heritage, and then it had horsemen as part of the words. So if you would like a shirt, I believe I have some, but I have one for Dr. O and the sponsors that could not make it, but they helped us financially, so thank you so much. The next thing that we have with Horace Middle School, we have a few things. So we had the 8th grade essay contest, which I spent most of my weekend reading them, and it really resonated a lot to read what some of these children are feeling and thinking. And as I said, I really tried to pick something I believe that we as a council could really bring to life, and how neat would that be that your essay and your idea comes to life. And that's sort of my goal, that we help make that happen. And that's why when I read Cleanup, mentorship program, I think we can do that. That's not, it can't be too difficult for us to do. So you'll hear me probably send the manager and the clerk an email. I have been working on something for a little while, and I'm gonna pull the cat out of the bag right now. I mentioned it a few months ago, and so when I was reading all these resumes, I keep saying resumes. When I keep reading all these, when I read all these essays, it reaffirmed my my idea that I've had for a few years now, and everything is time and money. So in honor of the late Libby Bowen, and in honor of our former mayor, Daisy Black, there's going to be a foundation called Bowen and Black Foundation. And it really is going to be, they were all about the community. They were all, I shared this a little bit with the manager already. I think you remember it was on one of my newsletters many, many months ago. It'll come to life in January. But they were all about community. I may not have agreed with everything Mayor Black may have said and done, but she was a mayor here. And she cared about the seniors, she cared about the kids, and she cared about just the overall just who we are, what we are, businesses, all of that. And that needs to be remembered. And Libby Bowen also did a lot. And so that to me is it's an honor of both of them. You all will hear more about it. And then the reason that I decided to talk about that tonight was because these essays really talked about homeless and feeding, and the kids don't have supplies, and it just talked about so many things that I know that if we put our heads together, we can really make an impact in that school. We cannot wait for Miami-Dade County to help us. We cannot wait for the state of Florida to help us. We have to help ourselves. And I really believe that if we work better together, there's room for all of us to make a difference. There's 600 kids in the school. There's no way I can touch 600 kids. But with 5 of us, 8 of us, yeah, we can. We really can. And they want it. They actually want it. They actually ask for it in some of their essays. They want a guidance and mentorship. They want the opportunity. So I heard something and I repeated it. We have a responsibility to establish the relationships to be able to provide them the access to those opportunities. That is our responsibility as the elected body here in Albertal, here for our kids here. They may not live here, but they come here. They're in our community 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, sometimes at night. So you know what? They are our kids. They are. They may not live here, but they are our kids. It's kind of like what the clerk said. We spend more time together than we do at home. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. So we are family. So got a little more into that than I wanted to, but I thought it was important as a result of all these essays that I read. You should really mark in your calendars December 2nd, or is it 3rd? It is going to be along with the police department, along with the children and Horace Mann. We are going to select a senior home that we're going to go in and help and clean and paint. December 2nd, I believe, is National Kindness Day. Hold on. I want to show I have the right date. I apologize, December 3rd. December 3rd is National Kindness Day, so that's what, more will come to that as we move forward. All right, my notes. Something I shared with the manager, really important. So I went to an FIU government relations reception, and the FIU president is really big on septic to sewer. So I don't remember his name. I think Saul was there. I don't really remember his name. But going back to our issue on septic to sewer and the need for money, because everything is money, the president of FIU wanted to put together some type of a task force or something. So, you know, I mentioned it to the manager, so I'm going to email them. You never know in conversation if there is an opportunity for the federal government to access the areas that needed most and maybe prioritize, and the money will go there. And so the president had some ideas. I mean, he's a president of university, so he's all about education. So if he wants to hit the component of educating, I think it's a collaboration that we cannot miss the opportunity to. So I thought that was fantastic. I had a meeting with the Miami Shores mayor. I met with her October 16th. We have a follow-up meeting. A few things we talked about is public safety and more collaboration and regional efforts. It was a quick meeting, and we're going to follow up at the beginning of November. We have a brand new fire chief. We just met with the division fire chief on October 17th. He oversees Station 30. For the time that I've been here, we've always had Chief Darren Williams. He is no longer with us, so we had the opportunity. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce his last name. Is John Knucklemeyer, something of that. But we share with him some of our holiday events that we have coming up that we'd like the Station 30 to be a part of. And one of the things we touched in and what prompted for the meeting was to servicing our customers. And we don't have that many businesses, but those that we do have, you know, the level of service. So that's what prompted that meeting, was a level of service. So we have a good opportunity because we have a good new chief that is overseeing the whole area. Speaking of businesses, the manager and I are going to be meeting with the businesses on Northeast 2nd Avenue. One of them is here today. As we move forward, and we have a lot of things going on, I think getting their perspective as things move forward from the groundwork up, I think also would help in terms of just brainstorming some ideas, especially as we talk about parking and all of that good stuff. So we're meeting with Dr. O on November 5th, Tuesday, November 5th, at 3 o'clock. A couple of the events coming up, as you all know, tomorrow night. For those of you that I know, we're going to have a new resident town hall. It's going to be informal. It's really, we did a mailer. The manager I had an access, she gave us, I think all of us, I don't know, I had all the certificate of occupancies that I had for the last few years. So I did a mailer to all of them. We have refreshments. We're going to have light bites. A couple of businesses are going to be here. But again, it's a little more on the informal side. I don't want them to feel like they're coming, it's an opportunity to talk and ask us questions if they have an idea. And then the only formality would be to let them know what's going on. And if they want to get involved, how they can do that. And that's, and give it, go to the website, go to this and go to that and talk about some of our signature events that we have year in and year out. The next event that we have coming up, of course, Councilperson Roman, do you want to talk about Halloween? All right.
So Halloween, it'll be October 31st, our village at 6 o'clock here, starting in front of the village hall. We will have candy here for the children to get started off, and then we have our police department who's going to be escorting us on an old-fashioned trick-or-treating, and so we'll go together as a group trick-or-treating along Northeast 87th Street and Northeast 88th Streets. One of the stops on Northeast 87th will be Miss Claudia's Academy, and we believe it's going to be a lot of fun, so we're hoping that it'll be a nice and safe way for parents to come along with their children walking on foot the way we used to do it when we were children. And in past years, we've seen parents driving around with the kids and, stopping in front of homes and having them get off the cars. So we're hoping that this is going to relieve that. We can't walk around the entire village because clearly we're expecting some little ones, but we're hoping that between these 2 blocks, we're going to have a nice evening. We have delivered, and I want to thank the president of the Women's Club, Maribel Trujillo, for delivering the flyers to the homes on Northeast 87th and North 88th, along with a letter asking them to please expect the children and participate. So if you live on Northeast 87th and Northeast 88th, between Northeast 2nd Avenue and Northeast 4th Avenue, we look forward to your participation. I know that I've already heard from a couple of the residents that are going to set up actually tables in front of their homes. So it should be a great event, something new to do. And that's about it.
Next we have, I will be there. I'm going to do something a little different that I have to ask if I need a permit or not, but I'll ask the manager tomorrow. Okay. Next we have November 3rd, Sunday, 8 o'clock, Colors of Cancer Walk. We're going to meet in front of Horseman Middle School. It's just a 2.3-mile walk. We'll have refreshments. Last year we had about, 70 people there, I think, 60 to 70 people. It was a pretty big turnout. November 3rd at 8 a.m. As a chief pointed out to me already, the times are going back the night before, right? Yes, chief, okay. So just make sure that you know. Oh, I didn't show up because you overslept. So November 3rd, Sunday, November 3rd at 8 a.m. And we'll meet in front of Horseman Middle School. And Colors of Cancer, the email that I sent out was, well, I shouldn't say we all, but at some point, maybe each of us will be impacted by cancer in one form or the other. In my case, my mom had pancreatic cancer, so the color I'll be wearing is purple. If you don't know the color you're representing, you can Google it. I'll be more than glad to send you the email that has all of the ribbons. So either you go wearing the color that you are fighting for, or you're fighting for someone that you've lost. So we're pink, yellow, gold. Every single color, unfortunately now, is represented by a cancer awareness. October was breast cancer, September was childhood cancer, and November is pancreatic cancer month. And not only have I been impacted by pancreatic cancer, Councilperson Urban's wife as well, and that's how we initially connected. So when you're struck by cancer, you have no idea the impact that it has in you, and many times you'll feel very, very alone. I want to thank also the clerk, the manager, Councilperson Roman, Vice Mayor Nickerson, Chief Magnuson for attending the best practices. That was October 3rd by the Miami-Dade County League of Cities. I feel like that was decades ago already, though I almost forgot about that one. I know that from that and from another annual conference, Councilperson Roman is going to be bringing forward a 2020 census workshop or town hall. I saw an email. I think that's very important. So I applaud that, and I hope to see that come forward. Let's see what else. I'm sure I'm leaving. You'll talk about our night through and P&Z. Okay. With that said, that pretty much wraps up my report, and I'll turn it over to our manager. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, that was informative. You reminded me of a lot of things I didn't write down in my report, but thank you for reminding me. Yes, we have been very busy. Just quickly, I'm going to go through my report. The mayor and I are traveling to Tallahassee in November to discuss our legislative priorities and to hopefully get some funding for our sewer projects and our water projects on the west side, and just to get some funding through to the village so that we can progress and move forward with our efforts. That will be hopefully the second week of November. We'll be meeting with legislators then. I'm just going to go quickly. You know, our departments are all doing really well, especially our police department, and I know that Chief Magnuson gave his report to the Public Safety Committee last week, but he continues to make strides, and his staff are doing a fantastic job and closing cases and getting the bad guys, but also just reinforcing that we are here to protect and serve our community, and we are getting really positive feedback from our residents here. And we met with Fire Division Chief Krummenaker. Krummenaker. I know it's a mouthful. Our building department is doing very well also. Our building clerk, Ms. Herrera, continues to make strides in consolidating the work and just streamlining the process in her department, as well as our code enforcement department, who's pretty much overhauled the process, and we discussed that in the Code Enforcement Committee, that he will now be enforcing the code to its completion, and taking care of a backlog that was out of control. But now we have things under control, and we have equipment now to assist him in doing his work. So we're really happy about the work he's been doing, and I've given you all a very detailed, itemized list about all of the things that are happening in the village, and there's more to come. And I appreciate that Councilperson Erbaum is open to some of the suggestions that our new code enforcement officer has brought forward. Planning and zoning, we did a fantastic nighttime ride through the village of El Portal last week with Chief Magnus and myself, the mayor, and Serbia, and a concerned resident. And we went through and looked at shadows and lighting problems and building issues and sidewalks and roads and speedings and speed signs, and I mean all kinds of things. And we really got a different perspective of the village and what our needs are. And as I said, we looked at lighting as well, and noticed that there's so many different kinds of lights in the village of El Portal, and we've been approached by FPL to do this pilot program, which is basically to change out our sodium, I think it's called high-pressure sodium lights. All of our lights are high-pressure sodium lights. None of them are LED. I misspoke before. So that we can have LED lights. And so I've given you all a detailed description of what is being proffered and some addresses to visit if you want to see what those different lights look like. But they're giving us 3 options for the pilot program, and we will continue to pay the utility fees we pay to FPL, but with their prices are also listed in the FPL plan. The FPL representative I'm working with is Ariel Lazo, and he is very open to coming to the village to give, a discussion or a talk, and also open to talking with residents if necessary. I think we have a lot of lights to, to look at, 151 to be exact. So if we want to just have one light uniformly through the village, that's an easy fix. But if we want to make some, customization, then we have another issue. So I am going to be chatting with each of you on the council to discuss what we should do next steps. But we have this opportunity, let's take advantage of it. And let's see what else. We've met with artist Nicole, who is going to be overhauling the little library. Our mayor donated a bigger little library to replace this little one that keeps getting beat up in the front of the building. So we've carved out a special place for our new little library project. It's going to be here by the opening to the tot lot, which is even better and more exciting. We want to put a bench there for those little readers who want to sit down and look at their books. The little library will be larger. It will be painted, and we hope to roll that out on its 5th year anniversary with Mayor Cubillo. So thank you very much, Mayor. Yes, on Valentine's Day. It's your Valentine's Day to the village. Thank you. Well, we've got a lot of books and a lot of readers, so we're excited about that. And there's a trick-or-treating tour coming up, and a welcome wagon initiative that Vice Mayor Nickerson and I are working on, and we're finalizing at the end of this week. And so many things happening. So yeah, that concludes my report. I'm sure there's tons I've left off, but it's been a long day. Thank you.
I don't want to ask a hard, another question, but no, you know what, no. Okay. Perfect. Any questions?
Mayor? Just one comment regarding the lighting, since we're looking into it. We're a bird sanctuary, and I know that that's a big thing with birds and lighting. So if you could just keep that in mind.
Birds should
I
be
am.
chirping at night.
Absolutely.
We ran into Councilperson Urbans the night we were doing that, and he made that very clear too. He brought that up. But you know what? I've been thinking, I don't know who told me this a year ago. So I've been doing a little homework, and I can't find it. We would like to know who certified El Portal as a bird sanctuary.
Oh, I think I have.
And I have looked through the, I don't have it all with me, but I just thought about that right now. It's something that I don't know which one of us has the time, but it would be nice if we can have that information in somewhere place somewhere.
Well, if I may, I actually had already started researching that
Okay.
because I want to know what the
Yeah.
requirements are for a bird
Yeah.
sanctuary as well. And I started with the Audubon Society.
Yeah.
They contacted me back and said, no,
No.
we're not certified
It's with
through
the
them.
state of Florida.
I contacted the state of Florida.
Yes.
I contacted
and
Audubon
they-
Society.
And they said, well, I'm waiting to hear back from them, but I have a name of someone.
Oh, I know, remember,
Ron-
somebody from Miami Beach contacted me because they wanted to do it, and they wanted to know our process, and I was like,
It's with the state of Florida, and if I'm not mistaken, the department that you have to call is the zoological department.
It's actually, I'm sorry, Councilperson Mathis, it may be that I was told is under the National Garden Club that we were certified as bird sanctuary by Audubon Society. They said they used to assist them with that many years ago, but now they don't, so we would just have to reach out to them. So perhaps it's now under that.
think it's, yeah,
I will
zoo-
check
zoological.
it would be
into that.
great if we can get,
Yeah.
whenever that was.
Well, what prompted me to even delve a little deeper is because I want to replace the signs. I want to know what we should be doing to protect our birds. And we do
Cool.
have accidents sometimes with the birds, and I don't know where to send them because the vet won't take them, or the
And the pelican won't take our
No, they won't
peacocks.
take our
They're
peacocks.
exotic
so
birds.
We need to, we've got to find out what benefits come
There's
with
only-
being bird sanctuary. So we're working on that. I'm working on that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Village Attorney, Norman Powell.
My report's very short. You all covered just about most of what's going on. I would just say that we are going to be moving forward with the development agreement with the Cavista project. So you all should be getting a copy of that development agreement within the next few days. And so that'll give everyone enough time to look at it, and I'm sure there may be questions, so they can be addressed directly or indirectly, and I'll be able to answer any questions. But we're certainly looking forward to moving that agreement forward, and then ultimately the application for the project. that's it.
I just want to put on the record about the Cavista, because for anybody who is going to hear this, they're going to be like, Cavista, what is that? There will be a town hall. There'll be 2 readings. It'll have to go to P and Z. There's a few steps, but there will be a town hall before any of this is final. Before I just want to wish our attorney happy birthday. But before I do that, I want to remind the council that the deadline for the next newsletter is Monday, the 28th. Yes, it's here already. It's amazing. It's crazy. So I wanted to put that. And with that said, if the audience would join us, and it is our attorney. Yes, yes, Councilperson Roman, go ahead.
I just wanted to take a quick second before we sing happy birthday to mention that we are joining the Recycle Right campaign for Miami-Dade County. And I have asked the county to please give us stickers that can be placed in all the recycling bins, which tell you exactly what can be recycled. Miami-Dade is on a single stream, and we do still take glass. There was a question that someone asked me via Nextdoor, but all of the items are listed on these stickers that can be easily put on the bins. We also have these flyers that are provided, and we have the information in Spanish and Creole as well for the Creole and Spanish speakers. And they are all available here at the Village Hall. So if you want your sticker or a flyer, please come by the Village Hall and they'll be placed here. Thank you. And that concludes my report.
So we're going to do a quick happy birthday to our
For good and welfare.
We will not ask this a good welfare. We won't ask your age.
We'll let you take it away.
Too much celebration today.
Sparkly.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Norman. Happy birthday to you.
$54, 10/20/22/65. I actually started a hashtag 54. Trying to be a little bit hip like the youngsters, you know, get a little likes.
That's not very unique, you know. You should have done like L4. You know, L is 50 in Roman. Okay, anyway. So I'll open up to Good and Welfare. Anybody in Good and Welfare would like to come up? Miss Francis, come up in Good and Welfare. Thank you for posting the Peacock Express on Nextdoor. I saw that. It came up in my mail, and I was like, oh, what is somebody saying about this? And I was like, oh, it's Francis.
No.
State your name and address for the record, honey, and
Oh,
lower
okay.
the microphone just a little bit. Thanks.
Francis Siegel, 214 Northwest 91st Street. I didn't plan to ask any questions, but since you brought these here, you know, most items have code numbers. Do we go by them at all?
No, forget the numbers, just go by what the sticker says.
But still, it's a little,
Well,
it's-
go by the sticker. The biggest thing with recycling is the contamination. And I would say the biggest thing is to make sure that if you are putting glass in your cartons, to make sure everything is rinsed so that there's no liquid left over. I know that for me, when I'm, any of the containers for like washing my clothes, there tends to be some residue there. So just make sure that you're washing them out and drying them, not putting them wet, because anything that contaminates your cans that entire batch will be contaminated and will not be recyclable.
yeah, I see a lot of my food cans. I'm always wondering, unless it shows a code number or the recycled symbol.
Cans, you can,
If I-
yes, they'll be recycled, just make sure to rinse them as well, make sure boxes are folded.
It's the food cans that will get me,
Yeah,
I
don't worry
do-
about the numbers.
Okay.
We're single stream, Miami-Dade doesn't look at the numbers.
Say that again?
Miami-Dade does not go by the numbers. We are a single stream recycling.
Right, well, they used to, and then, I'm just saying, I never know which food
Right.
cans.
Things
So
changed,
we
I guess.
all food cans, long as the can is rinsed out?
Just rinse it out, make sure there's no food left over.
Right, right, all right, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Councilperson Urban?
Well,
Can
sorry,
I go?
go ahead.
Margaret Okonkwo, 211 Northeast 89th Street. Two things that I just curious about the portable radar guns. My property faces Northeast Second Avenue, and I don't know if they're going to help with like giving people tickets on the speeding. Sometimes people are literally going 70 to 80 miles per hour past our building. It's really frightening. I don't know how anybody's not died on that street. So I don't know if that was, the radar guns are gonna help with that, or is that what they are for?
It's not a radar gun, it's a tracker. So you know how you've driven somewhere and you'll see it on a wheel and it has like a flashing light that says you're going 45 miles, but the speed limit is 35, you're going, it's a tracker.
Okay. So hopefully that will help.
Correct.
I think they've got one on 92nd in Miami Shores right now, currently.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
Okay. And then the second thing, just going along what Vamari was saying about the lights and the birds. If anybody wants to drive through Belmead, where I live, in the back where all the multi-million-dollar homes are, they put these really beautiful lights up, and they are horrible in terms of light pollution. You can literally read a book in front of these people's homes, and I don't know how they sleep. So it was a lot of money. I think the city helped them do it. It was only in their part of the neighborhood. They're beautiful, and the light pollution is horrible. So I don't know why we can't, we're in the 21st century, why we can't get to a point where we're not wasting energy. And light pollution is not good for our health in terms of sleeping, the animals. So just to, if you're going to change out the lights, you know, to make them beautiful would be nice, but to also take into consideration the light pollution.
Thank you.
Absolutely,
yes.
thank you, Dr. O. Any other comments from the council?
I was on the recycling front. I was listening to a discussion on the radio recently about this specifically in Miami-Dade County, and so when it comes to recycling in Miami-Dade County, sometimes the issue is the size of the container. So one thing I noticed on the flyer, which is very helpful, is really it's telling you that if you have whole containers. So, like lids, for example, should be left on the container so that it may, you know, because a lot of small pieces are going to be discarded. And then when it comes to like laundry detergent, I stick it under the water running. I still have a top load, and so I get my last drops of detergent out of that before I get rid of it. But
I do too.
But one of the things they were discussing was sizes of pieces. So they want whole pieces going into the recycle bins, not because any small pieces are going to be discarded. And then with the numbers, because we're single stream, all of those get sorted essentially at the facility. So because it was so difficult for residents to sort, you know, the numbers and know everything, the numbers are not necessarily important for us any longer because they're being sorted at the facility. So.
Thank you for that. Any other comments before I go to motion to adjourn? Okay, hearing none, may I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll motion to
Motion's
adjourn.
been made by Councilperson Roman. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion to adjourn.
Seconds by Councilperson Urban. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Hearing none, our October 22nd council meeting adjourns at 8:36 PM. Thank you.